My beloved fell in love with someone else while trying to resurrect me. When I awoke, Jim asked me what I desired. I was about to speak, to continue our unfinished wedding. Suddenly, lines of text flashed through my mind. The main male character is so devoted. Even after becoming the Sky Emperor, he still remembers to resurrect a mere side female character. The side female character is shameless too. Now that she's revived, she still wants status. It's our sweetheart who stood by the main male character through millions of years of life and death. Anyway, if she's taken back, she'll just cause trouble and be neglected and despised. Only then will the main male character realize his true love is our sweetheart. Love grows with time. After a moment's thought, I replied, I wish for a divorce. Jim froze. His appearance was nearly unchanged from before my death. If anything, he was even more radiantly handsome. Amy, are you joking with me? His voice trembled with disbelief, on the verge of tears. A side female character like her actually wants a divorce? That makes no sense. This old hag must be threatening the main male character with divorce. How vile. What was the author thinking, writing such a despicable character? Just wait till our sweetheart arrives with the child. Let's see how she'll humiliate the side female character. These scrolling comments were filled with unspeakable vulgarities. According to them, they were live comments from a female-oriented immortal training novel titled Rebel Consort. Emperor's Gentle Love. Jim was the main male character in it, a prodigious talent, aloof and cold by nature, to save his first love wife, who died, shielding him from a divine trial, that is, me. He embarked on an immortal training journey with Susan Shao, the demon-immortal hybrid main female character. The two became a bickering pair, supporting and improving each other over nearly 1,000,000 years together. Susan Shao confessed to Jim multiple times, but he rejected her each time because his heart still belonged to me. Yet, during one failed divine trial breakthrough, he consummated with Susan Shao, impregnating her twice. The first time bore a daughter, and now she's carrying a son. After my resurrection, my personality drastically changed. I competed with Susan Shao for favor in the Heavenly Palace, even schemed against her repeatedly, causing her miscarriages. Jim grew to loathe me, finally striking me down with a crimson glow when I caused trouble again. My soul was on the verge of dissolution. How ridiculous. Jimmy Dan, Sister Rain must have been muddled from sleeping for 1,000,000 years. After all, she's still in a mortal body now, clumsy and dull. Why not let her rest in the Heavenly Palace for a while? From afar, a fairy in fluttering red sleeves came gliding on clouds. Her belly was slightly rounded, and beside her stood a miniature version of herself. Daddy Dan, hug. The girl, munching on candied hawthorn, dashed toward Jim and Susie Dow. Didn't we agree Lily Lien shouldn't eat sweets while teething? One moment Jim was holding my hand. The next he instinctively cradled the child in his arms. There it is, the exclusive nicknames, Jimmy Dan and Susie Dow. Jim the big scoundrel gets shortened to Jimmy Dan. Even little Lily calls him that. Honestly, even as the Sky Emperor, the main male character still indulges the main female character and Lily like this. A perfect trio. Does someone seem a bit superfluous here? I won't say who. The main female character is still too kind-hearted, actually letting the side female character stay in the Heavenly Palace. It hurts to see her unaware of what's coming next. I bit my lip and tentatively called out, Jim, and didn't react. He continued flirting with Susan Shao. I raised my voice. Jim. Only then did Jim snap out of it. He set the child down, knelt on one knee before me, and pulled out a box of divine elixir from his robe, his face showing the same shyness I remembered from our youth. Amy, I'm sorry. It's been so long since anyone called me Jim. Let me introduce you. Susan Shao is my companion on the path of immortal training. When she said your mortal body was dull, she wasn't insulting you. It's just that mortal flesh is too fragile. So, tonight, I'll personally transfer my spiritual power to you. That way, you can become an eternal immortal like me, and we'll never have to part again. I pointed at the mother and child and asked, she bore your daughter and carries your child, yet you stand before her and say we'll never be apart? As expected, Susan Zhao's eyes welled up with tears. A pair of small hands pounded on my body. You evil woman. You made my mother cry. Apologize to her now. Side female character. Stop pretending to be some pure lotus. Comfort little Susan. Don't let her cry. If the side female character wants a divorce, she should just leave. Jumping off the immortal execution platform will send her back to the earthly realm. The side female character is just bluffing. How could this wretch resist the wealth of the heavenly palace and the temptation of immortality? As I turned to leave, Jim and firmly gripped my arm, while also holding back Susan Zhao, who was about to turn away. Amy, where are you going? The immortal execution platform. I told you my wish is to divorce you. He frowned, utterly confused. Just because Susan and I have a child? Are you really that petty? Petty, you say? My husband fell in love with another woman while trying to resurrect me. Shouldn't I be angry? Let me go. I don't want to become the villain described in those stories. Leaving is the only choice I can make. Jim and did let go. He released Susan Zhao's hand and wrapped his arms tightly around me from behind. My only wish throughout this journey has been to bring you back to life. Without you, everything I've done is meaningless. My eyes also reddened. The hardest years for a couple are their youth. Perhaps I should trust my Jimin, not these strange words. Dad, Mom's stomach is bleeding. Susan Zhao clutched her stomach in pain, her face deathly pale. Jim and released me and channeled his inner strength to stop the bleeding. Susan Zhao wrapped her arms around his neck. He didn't refuse, but instead lifted her into his arms. Susan is showing signs of early birth. Amy, I'll be back soon. Susan Zhao went into early birth. As the child's father, he went to care for her. It was only natural. I couldn't just stand by and let an innocent child die, especially since it was Jim and's child. Yet selfish thoughts crept in. If I hadn't died early, we might have had a child too. Jim and I would have been an ordinary couple in love. Amy, Susan is just a good brother who's carrying my child. Don't overthink it. There's no love between us. My fingers dug into my flesh. I swallowed my resentment toward Jim and, fine. Jim and was still worried I might jump off the immortal execution platform. He stationed hundreds of burly heavenly guards to lock me inside a lavish palace. Divine servants were forbidden to speak with me. There was no way for me to locate the immortal execution platform. I couldn't even track the passage of time. That scared me to death. Thankfully, the side female character didn't act. Susan gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and the main male character said he looked just like him when he was born. Does anyone else think the side female character seems to have aged after being locked up? A day in heaven is a year on earth. The main male character stayed with Susan during her postpartum recovery. 15 days have passed, and now the side female character is a 30-year-old woman, 30 years old. Jim and Susan Zhao have lived for millions of years, yet they still look like teenagers. I glanced in the mirror. Fine lines had begun to creep at the corners of my eyes, and my skin had turned sallow. I am indeed growing old. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 10 days. I just miss my parents a little. I miss my clansmen. I never saw my mother's hair turn white, never witnessed my father age. I never brought glory to my family. Back then, I devoted myself wholeheartedly to Jim and for his immortal training. He needed a divine cauldron forging. Our clan was the only one within miles with the expertise to forge it. But no one believed a lone star like him could ever achieve immortality. So I knelt in the family shrine, kowtowing with every step. Blood seeped from my forehead, yet I felt no pain, begging my parents, the clan chief. Their only condition for agreeing was for Jim and to become a Marian groom. On the night of our grand marriage, thunder shook the heavens. I used my life to shield Jim and from the divine trial. He broke through to the core formation stage, standing at the pinnacle of mortals. But my parents, my clansmen, how heartbroken they must have been to see me die. To abandon one's life for a man. How unworthy. Back then, I didn't understand. I thought a young man's devotion could outlast time itself. I can't just wither away like this. I want to go home. I owe my family an explanation. Amy, has your anger subsided? Jim N's voice whispered behind my ear. I turned, and there he stood before me, bathed in divine light. He looked even more radiant, while I was nearly shriveled. He wrapped his arms around me, tight, so tight. Amy, Susu gave birth to a boy, looking just like I did when I was born. The Sky Emperor's memory is impressive, even recalling his own birth. He sighed. Amy, won't you call me Lang again? I tried to break free from his embrace, but his grip was too strong. When we were kids, you fought off every bully from the gentry for me. Amy, remember? You, a girl, wrestled with them, covered in bruises and mud. You won so many grasshoppers from them, which we sold at the market. With the money, we bought 4 bags of sesame brittle and stuffed ourselves until we lay on the stone slab, gazing at the moon. How could I forget? Under the moonlight, little Jim and mustered his courage to propose to me. Jim and will marry Amy Chun in 10 years. No concubines, no second wife, now and forever. In this life and the next, only Amy Chun. Let the stars bear witness, heaven and earth as our judge. If I ever break this vow, little Jim and scratched his head. I burst out laughing, chewing sesame brittle until I rolled on the ground. If I ever break it, I'll never eat sesame brittle again. 6-year-old Jim and 5-year-old me couldn't imagine a worse consequence. Amy, I'll give you half of my spiritual power. Then you won't grow old anymore. Please don't be angry, okay? The lamp suddenly went out. My inner robe was undone. Jim and had somehow carried me to the bed without me noticing. I closed my eyes. Live comments flashed through my mind again. Oh no, the main male character is about to be tainted. Poor main female character, left alone with 2 children in an empty room. Author, can you stop tormenting the female lead? See? The side female character can't stand aging and even threatens to divorce and jump off the immortal execution platform. What a drama queen. I was seething with frustration. Just an ordinary mortal woman. Even if I jumped off the immortal execution platform and lost everything, how could I survive in this world teeming with immortals and demons? How could I find my family, who had long since entered the rebirth cycle? Since Jim unwillingly shared his spiritual power with me, why shouldn't I make use of it? After one night, my face had returned to its former appearance. A mysterious power now resided in my energy core. I figured it must be half of Jim and spiritual power. Jim and was still asleep. He held me tightly in his arms, making it almost impossible for me to move. I tentatively tried to get up. Damn, Susie, stop messing around. In the heat of passion, he said he loved me 1,000 times over. Only me. But now, in his most relaxed moment, his thoughts were of Susan Shao. Side female character. Open your dog eyes and see. The main male character's subconscious still loves our main female character the most. The side female character only spent 15 years with the main male character, while our Susie has been with him for millions of years. Who's the true love is obvious. The side female character thought marrying first, dying to become his first love, then reviving would win his heart. Too bad. The one not loved is the third wheel. This forbidden thrill is just too good. When is the side female character jumping off the immortal execution platform? I can't take it anymore. I shook my head, but no matter how hard I shook, those live comments wouldn't disappear. So I stopped pretending. Fine then. Tell me, where is the immortal execution platform? The live comments exploded. They didn't seem to realize I could see them. Is the side female character talking to us? Has the side female character gone mad? Or have I? How could she possibly see the live comments? Side female character, if you can see the live comments, give us a heart gesture. A heart gesture? What does that mean? Though, I don't understand. I still point to my chest, where my heart is. Is this how you do a heart? The live comments fell silent for a moment. Then they exploded in a frenzy. Slow down. I can't keep up with all these messages. I feel like my head is about to split from the pain. So she saw all the nasty things we said about her? Well, we weren't wrong. She's always been a bitch anyway. But she hasn't done anything evil yet. I wish the main female character could see these instead. Why does it have to be the side character I hate the most? Guys, have you noticed the next chapter is missing? Holy crap, it's completely blank. Someone messaged the author and asked if it's a bug. I remember this was a completed novel. I've read it multiple times. Does this mean our comments can influence the story's direction? Overthinking it. She's just a cannon fodder, villainous side female character. So what if I'm a side character? I am the protagonist of my own life. With the wind beneath my wings, I'll soar to the heavens. So, can you tell me now where the immortal execution platform is? Following the directions from the live comments, I quietly slipped away. Luckily, I had half of Jim and spiritual power. It allowed me to turn invisible and evade the heavenly guards' patrols. This is the immortal execution platform. I stared at a well shrouded in swirling, rainbow-hued immortal mist. Through the mist, I seemed to see my departed family. Father, mother, your unfilial child has come to join you. Just as I was about to leap, a crimson glow lashed out like a rope, binding me. Where are you going? Sister Amy, you? Susan Shao cradled an infant, her face pale and weak, blood still seeping from her lower body, her eyes red as if she'd just been crying. To jump off the immortal execution platform and grant you your happy ending. I tried to break free with my spiritual power, but the restraints only grew tighter. This is the binding immortal rope. The stronger your cultivation, the harder it is to escape. Sister Amy, are you angry with me? If I've offended you, I apologize. She dragged her frail body and knelt directly on the ground. The live comments erupted with sympathy for her again. Our main female lead looks even more pitiful now than when the side female character framed her for the miscarriage. I regret telling the side female character about the immortal execution platform. Amy Chen should have just stayed quietly in her role as the villainess. The main female lead is still apologizing, even though she's done nothing wrong. The side female character is just using our live comments to bully the main female lead. Next time the side female character asks, I'll give her false info and let her suffer the consequences. These live comments are full of assumptions and double standards. I paid them no mind, focusing instead on sinking my energy into my energy core. I tried to conceal my spiritual power to escape. Back then, Jim and I trained in immortal training together. My progress was even faster than his, but I held back out of consideration for his pride. I deliberately lost to him every time. It's a pity I died before reaching the core formation stage. Otherwise, my achievements today might not be inferior to his. Susan Shao noticed the loosening of the binding immortal rope. Her delicate fingers twirled slightly as she murmured, I won't let you have Jimmy Dan, because we're meant to be. Just do your part, hate me, and that's enough. As she spoke, a faint, almost imperceptible smile flickered in her eyes. I sensed something was off about her. In an instant, the effects of the binding immortal rope on me vanished. Susan Shao fainted, and the wailing of the baby, falling to the ground, pierced the heavens. Jim rushed over, frowning deeply at the tragic scene. He shot me a fierce glare. Susie Dow said you've always been suspicious of her. I believe you're not the kind of woman who would be jealous, especially since I've never loved her. My heart has always been with you. Why couldn't you let her go? She was worried you might come to harm, descending to the mortal realm, so she used the binding immortal rope to restrain you. Yet, to break free, you ambushed her. I never knew your heart could be so cruel. She just gave birth and is extremely weak, now suffering massive blood loss. Are you trying to kill her? Reviving you was my obsession for 1,000,000 years. Now that my wish is fulfilled, we're even. Jim picked up Susan Shao, his eyes red, and said, You wanted a divorce, didn't you? Fine, I'll grant you one. He cut off half his hair and threw it at my feet. As he left, he sneered, You don't even know what the mortal realm is like now. I bet within 3 days, you'll be kneeling before my statue, begging me to come down and fetch you. I turned my back to him, swallowing my last tears. You overthink. Sky Emperor, you and I will never meet again in this lifetime. I leaped down. The mortal realm was nothing like it had been before my death. Demons and monsters run rampant, turning the world into a living hell. As for my family, Over the span of millions of years, they have likely long been reduced to dust. Now, my only recourse is to start from the netherworld, hoping to find traces of their reincarnated souls. Do any of you know how to reach the netherworld? I asked the live comments. The live comments hesitated. Some seemed reluctant to answer my question. I sighed. My fate with Jim and is over. I won't interfere with their relationship. All I want now is to find my reincarnated family. I have no one else in this world. Only you can help me. But what I didn't expect was that they would reveal a shocking truth. Actually, after your death, your parents broke ties with the main male character. Later, they joined the antagonist's faction. And then, why bring this up? To make the side female character hate the main male character even more? Her family brought it upon themselves. They chose the wrong side, opposing the main male character. The side female character's family is just as despicable as her. I could endure their insults toward me, but when they targeted my family, I couldn't take it anymore. If you continue to be this rude, I'll return to the heavenly palace right now and kill your main female character. The live comments fell silent. So, my parents have already reincarnated, right? Speak up. A few scattered live comments popped up. Your parents and family didn't reincarnate. After the antagonists were defeated, the main female character suggested to the main male character, who then cast a heavenly curse on their souls, condemning them to eternal suffering in the netherworld without any chance of entering the rebirth cycle. They're now enduring punishment alongside the antagonists. The netherworld's most brutal 18 hell torments. From the eldest to the youngest, no one was spared. My legs went weak. I could barely stand. All because of me. If I hadn't fallen for Jim and back then, none of this would have happened. I hated myself to the core. I must go to the netherworld and save my family. Jim and, are we even now? Impossible. And Susan Shao. I won't let her off easily either. I wreaked havoc in the netherworld, looking at my father and mother, tortured for millions of years, their spirits broken. Tears burst forth uncontrollably. Father, mother, it's Amy you. Your unfilial child has come to take you home. My parents no longer recognized me at all. No matter how much I recounted the past, they remained blank and uncomprehending, like puppets with their strings cut. Suddenly, a shadowy wisp of a soul whispered in my ear. You carried Jim and sent. How could your parents recognize you? I didn't understand. After that night, I had washed myself countless times. How could the scent still linger? Who are you? Whoever Jim and replaced. That is who I am. So this wisp of a soul was the original Sky Emperor. The position of Sky Emperor is the only one in all creation capable of reviving the dead. But he refused to leave that chance to a worthless mortal like me. And so, he was replaced by Jimin. An indescribable sorrow filled my heart. Jim and had always been indifferent to fame and fortune. If not for reviving me, he wouldn't have done such things. Using his lover as an excuse for rebellion. Does he truly love you? I doubt it. If he did, why would he sleep with another woman? If he couldn't break through, he couldn't become immortal. Without immortality, he couldn't see you, let alone revive me. The spirit laughed. There are countless ways to break through, yet he chose the most despicable one. Why? Admit it. His heart hasn't been with you for a long time. I bit my lip, fists clenched. Was it really just this? Was reviving me merely his excuse to climb higher? Yes, if he truly loved me wholeheartedly, even if he couldn't break through for a time, he would have chosen another way. Not. At this thought, my stomach churned. Disgusting. So disgusting. Ugh. I couldn't vomit. Logically, as a half-immortal, I shouldn't feel fatigue, even without eating or drinking. But after descending to the mortal realm, my appetite grew voracious. I couldn't skip a single meal. No way. Could it be? I had studied medicine before, so I nervously checked my own pulse. Another strong heartbeat pulsed beneath my fingertips. My legs nearly gave out beneath me. Live comments flashed before my eyes. As expected of the main male character. One shot and it's a direct hit. Same with Susu back then. First try, and they got Lily Lian. But conceiving the little heir wasn't a 1 or 2 time thing. Oh no. I forgot the side female character can see this. My tears had long since dried up. I clenched my hand, ready to strike my belly. But the old Sky Emperor's spirit intercepted me. Don't you want to restore your parents' sanity? Let this child kill his father and seize power. Once he becomes the Sky Emperor, he can resurrect your loved ones in the netherworld. Before I could respond, the live comments erupted in protest. Why? Susu and the main male character's son is the rightful future Sky Emperor. The main female character isn't some advocate of the main versus secondary wife doctrine, is she? Don't think just because you're the primary wife your child can become the Sky Emperor. Child status by mother. Our Susan is the cherished one. The main male character only has children with the one he loves. Exactly. And the main male character has already divorced her. What right does she have? Is she planning to hold the emperor hostage to command the nobles or something? Anyway, Susan and the main male character will have countless children together. The side female character's child doesn't matter at all. Up until now, these live comments still think I'd compete with Susan Shao, completely overlooking that Jim and is the one who slaughtered my entire family. Amy Chen, this child is extremely important. You mustn't act recklessly. Besides, a young attendant just overheard us talking. I'm afraid news of your pregnancy has already reached the Heavenly Palace. By the time Jane Lian led troops to the Netherworld, I had already relocated my family members to a safe place, leaving only the old Sky Emperor's soul by my side. Jane Lian had grown significantly from the child I'd seen before. She looked about 15 or 16 now, almost identical to Susan Shao. Fortunately, my mother's spy network in the netherworld reported this to me. Otherwise, your bastard child would have competed with my brother for his position. She lifted my chin with the tip of her red spear. Will you take your own life to atone? Or shall I personally rid the world of you? You wretch. With a flick of my hand, the red spear shattered on the ground. You. This was Egg Daddy's birthday gift to me. Don't think just because you've taken half of Egg Daddy's spiritual power, you can do whatever you want. Oh, right. You don't even know. After you left, Egg Daddy and my mother held a grand wedding. The entire 3 worlds knows. They only see my mother and Egg Daddy as the perfect pair. No one remembers you were ever his woman. I did once hold lingering feelings for Jimin, but that was in the past. Now, what I want isn't love. It's for my family to return. But somehow, Jane Lian found a family I had hidden away. They were mere wisps of souls, clutched in the palm of the now gigantic Jane Lian, hanging by a thread. Is this beast your father? Is this vile woman your mother? Are all these old folks your family clan? Furious, I engaged in battle with them. But, fearing harm to my family, I dare not strike with full force. Seizing the moment, she slit open my belly and brutally tore out my unborn child, crushing it. Then devoured my entire family clan, leaving no survivors. Lily Lian did well. Good thing we told Susan Shao where to place the family clan, who let these people oppose the main male character and still expect a happy ending. This side female character's child should never have been born. Lily Lian did everyone a favor by eliminating it. I just found out Susan Shao can see the live comments too. Finally, no more suffering through this side female character's nonsense. So that's how it is. No wonder Susan Shao was so adamant about stopping me from jumping off the immortal execution platform. She didn't want me to break free from the original plot. She only wanted to use me to fulfill my role as the wicked side female character. But I refuse. If this is fate's decree, then I will defy the heavens. I broke free from the restraints, ignoring the pain from the recent cesarean cut. Seizing the moment, I struck Jane Lian a heavy blow. Jane Lian, I thought you shared some affection with Egg's father, so I spared your life. But now it seems unnecessary. If he asks, I'll just say you indulged in earthly pleasures and died from coupling with men after descending to the mortal realm. Behind her stood dozens of heavenly guards and generals. They were loosening their belts, eyeing me like wolves. Even the live comments were egging them on. The side female character hasn't had a man in a million years. This is her reward. The heavenly guards are all muscular. That brat sure eats well. Who told the side female character to seduce the main male character into bed? If she hadn't gotten pregnant, our dear Lily Lian wouldn't have hurt her. It's all the side female character's fault. I didn't just wait for death. Instead, I pushed through the heavenly guards and generals, gripping Jane Lien's throat. Crack. A life for a life. Seems fair, doesn't it? Jane Lien collapsed, twitching on the ground. Her consciousness lingered faintly. Seems you didn't know. Your father gave me half of his spiritual power. I issued orders to the heavenly guards and generals, forcing them to change direction and march toward Jane Lien. What is the side female character up to? I knew her vicious nature would show itself. Such a misogynistic way to take revenge on Lily Lien. She's still stuck in petty female rivalry. I had no patience to argue with these live comments. I staged a performance, communicating telepathically with the old Sky Emperor. I made Jim Ann's informants in the Netherworld witness my soul dissolution. He then taught me to conceal my aura. It was as if I no longer existed within the three worlds. Even if these live comments caught on and tried to warn Susan Shao, Jim and couldn't sense the presence of his other half of spiritual power. He'd only think she was spouting nonsense. During this time, I freed the imprisoned dark spirits in the Netherworld. They had all been locked away by Jim and Susan Shao. Some were even just flower spirits and spirit creatures unwilling to be refined into elixirs. I took them under my command, recruiting and training for 1,000,000 years. Under the guidance of the old Sky Emperor and Jim Ann's rivals, my spiritual power has nearly reached Jim Ann's level. They only lamented the child in my womb. If that child had lived, it could have forced Jim Ann to abdicate and become the new Sky Emperor. I laughed. I'll just become the Emperor myself. The live comments mocked me. How can the side female character still be so naive after 1,000,000 years? Thinking she can just waltz into becoming Emperor? Her spiritual power was stolen from the main male character. How shameless. I'd sooner believe I'm Qin Shi Huang than trust her to become Emperor. Their time flows differently from mine. For me, it's been 1,000,000 years of hardship, but from their perspective, it's just a few lines on a page. I am fully prepared now. Before the battle, I returned to my hometown to sweep my family's graves. Jim Ann came. Ever since he thought I died, he had tried to resurrect me again, but it was futile. The old Sky Emperor told me, a person can only be revived once. Besides, I never died in the first place. He erected a memorial tablet for me in my hometown, reconstructing the buildings where we once lived together. He no longer managed the affairs of the Heavenly Palace, handing full authority over to Susan Shao and her son. He refused to return to the Heavenly Palace and forbade anyone from approaching this place. Not even Susan Shao was allowed to see him. Every night, he would sleep embracing my memorial tablet. The tablet was covered with his tear stains. Amy, when you jumped off the immortal execution platform, I thought you'd only stay away for a few days before coming back to me. But days passed, and there was no sign of you. Susie Dao said if I married her, you'd surely return in a fit of anger. Why were you so foolish? If you were in danger, all you had to do was call out Onling, and I would come to you. No one would ever harm you. Or had I already vanished from your heart? I know you blame me for having a child with Susie Dao, but I had no choice. It was the fastest way to complete the trial crossing. I missed you so much. Longed to see you again. I never liked her, never had any feelings for her, and she felt the same, seeing me only as a partner in the trial crossing, but as the child's father. I must take responsibility. The child is innocent. The image of your first death replayed in my mind countless times. For 1,000,000 years, I never forgot. I thought giving you half my spiritual power would keep you alive. It was my fault, my mistake. I shouldn't have spoken in anger. If you had even a shred of attachment to me back then, you wouldn't have waited to die. He was still crying, trembling. Amy, take me with you, please. My face was also wet with tears. Jim Ann, we can't go back. Jim Ann suddenly turned around. I had long been swallowed by the night. Do you really have the heart to kill Jim Ann? The old Sky Emperor asked me. Why wouldn't I? He pointed at the white flower pinned to my chest. This was placed by Jim Ann at your grave. Do you still have feelings for him? I just don't want to forget where I came from. This flower isn't a keepsake, but a memorial, a tribute to my youthful ignorance. The old Sky Emperor merely smiled. If you can't bring yourself to do it, I can help you. Don't worry, I'll kill him with my own hands. The live comments lag behind my real-time progress. So by the time they alerted Susan Shao, my forces had already stormed the heavenly palace. Catching them off guard, Susan Shao and her frail son stood no chance. Just as I was about to kill them, Jim rushed over. He took the sword for her. It's me who owes you all, not her or the child. See? Someone else couldn't bear to let go. I concealed my face. Jim didn't recognize me. He only thought I was another defeated foe seeking revenge, until he saw the white flower on my chest. Amy, is that you? His eyes reddened instantly, and despite my blade sinking deeper, he stepped toward me, one slow step at a time. Amy, I'll give you anything you desire. All my spiritual power, my throne as the Sky Emperor, or even my life. I didn't want to acknowledge him. You've mistaken me for someone else. Amy Chen died long ago. He smiled bitterly. I know you hate me. I only ask one thing. Spare Susan Shao and the children. Do with me as you will. In the end, he truly had no idea what I wanted. Her children are children, but yours and Amy Chen's aren't. The old Sky Emperor murmured. Jim clearly didn't know about this. Amy Chen and I had a child? Was it that time? Why didn't I know anything? Where is the child now? His expression grew distant. His legs gave way, and he knelt before me, leaning on his sword for support. Susan Zhao's daughter ripped open Amy Chen's womb, and the unborn child was brutally slaughtered. Amy Chen died because of it. So, Jim a life for a life. They must die. I blocked the old Sky Emperor, gritting my teeth. I gave Jim a choice. Jim I can spare them, but you'll never see Amy Chen again, or I can kill them. And Amy, you will appear before you instantly, living a blissful life with you. Which will you choose? Jim couldn't make the choice. He willingly shattered all his meridians, kneeling at my feet, begging me to spare them. Every fault is mine. Kill me instead, will you? His mind was set on death alone, but I wanted him to watch his beloved Susan Shao and their child die before his eyes. Yet, no matter how much power I unleashed, I couldn't harm Susan Shao in the slightest. Could it be? Live comments flashed across the scene. Give up. Side female character. The author's rewriting the novel now. A single stroke of her pen can change the ending. All your efforts are wasted. Ha ha ha. I watched as my forces were instantly suppressed. My throat tightened. I couldn't lose. I couldn't betray the sacrifices of these comrades who'd fought and bled with me for years. Even if they were just nameless minor characters brushed aside in this novel. Amy Chen, I give you my power. You must win. My entire body burned with heat. The old Sky Emperor had transferred all his power to me, but I also knew doing this would lead to his soul dissolution, beyond any hope of revival. Jim watch closely. Granting someone spiritual power doesn't require paired cultivation. As her soul scattered, I finally saw her clearly, a woman just like me. In the entire novel, she left no name, only the title, Old Sky Emperor. Nor did she leave a trace of her presence. Her image was entirely a projection of my own imagination. A bold idea suddenly flashed through my mind. If this world isn't real, then everyone has the power to change their fate. What I conceive, I perceive. So why should I accept my destiny? At this thought, suddenly, my body could move again. Susan Shao realized what I was doing. She cried out, begging the live comments for help, but only silence answered her. She didn't know that I had mastered the rules. Whatever I willed, I could achieve. I severed her connection to the live comments. Terror gripped her. Please, I don't want to die. Then she gazed passionately at Jim even if I die, I'll die with Jimmy Dan. You vile creature, go ahead, do it. Together in life and death. How could I possibly grant you such a perfect ending? After ascending to the throne of the Sky Emperor, I resurrected my kin and the comrades who perished in the Great War. The moment my long-lost family appeared before me, my tears broke free and fell uncontrollably. Father, mother, I'm sorry. They simply held me in silence. Just like when I was a child, I erased their painful memories. The times I died for Jimin, their vengeance for me, and their suffering in the netherworld. They would remember none of it. As for Susan Shao, she relived in the netherworld, over and over. her own disembowelment and the deaths of her daughter and son by her own doing. Of course, the suffering my kin endured. She and Jim and would taste it all. Her final wish to be doomed lovers with Jim in. I made sure it never came true. Jim and was locked in the even colder 19th underground level. I tormented him not just physically, but mentally as well. He was trapped in an endless loop where no matter what he did, he could never save me. Every time he was about to reach me, he would always fail. Once, twice, 100,000 times. When I last saw him, he had lost all human semblance. A skeletal figure with vacant eyes, still muttering my name. Amy, you. Forgive me, but listen closely. What he actually said was, Amy, you. Don't forgive me. I don't know how much time passed before the divine priests informed me. Jim Ann's consciousness had faded. He was truly dead, and I finally let out a sigh of relief. Lying beneath the starry veil, impregnating her, lines of live comments flashed through her mind again. After the side female character changed the ending, this novel exploded in popularity. I always knew the main female character was a schemer. I still prefer anti-heroine stories. Amy Chen, we love you. Huh, how quickly they change. They never realize words can kill. No one thinks their actions are wrong unless they experience it themselves. There's a rumor in the novel world. Readers who leave mindless hate comments on Rebel Consort, Emperor's gentle love, all wake up blind the next day. The reason remains unknown. After the Heavenly Palace was reorganized, I was swamped with work. My family disliked the desolation of the Heavenly Palace and moved back to the mortal realm, leaving me alone with boundless riches and endless loneliness. I longed for someone to stay by my side, even if she were just a wisp of smoke. So I thought, before my eyes, a familiar, blurry figure actually appeared. I knew who she was. Her name would also be given by me.